This is He Knows His Sport, bringing you that heat and that fire. All right, I want to talk about Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia and why he's going to get demolished by Errol Spence Part 18. Shout outs to James H, because, I feel like some of the stuff that I'm going to bring up in this video, he brought up some astute stuff that I felt that I had to bring up. He talked about Errol Spence being in DeSoto High School and how Errol Spence, being in DeSoto High School, there's a standard out there. See, that's something I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Because Errol Spence played on the same high school football team as Von Miller. And the bottom line is to have, guys be on that team, they have to be gems athletically. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these guys got to be gym rats. They got to be cats that, are cats that have to be top level, top notch athletically in order for them to have a chance, to make the team. Errol Spence made that team, so that speaks volumes to the athleticism of Errol Spence. See, that's something I didn't know, and I felt like I had to shout out to James H on that because, my boy, he gave me something that, I can add to the tool yard. That speaks volumes because from what he explained to me is these cats from DeSoto, they're wired, and that's anywhere because I'm from Florida and, Florida has produced a lot of cats like Texas and a lot of cats like Georgia in football, man. But, we up there when it comes to producing cats with athleticism and cats that have the ability to be game changers and things of that nature. So I know a thing or two when I'm talking in regards to mentioning something like that in the likes of, Errol Spence or whatnot. The bottom line is this, and this is what people need to understand. Errol Spence is a cat that, he's been wired football-wise since the 8th grade for him to have those athletic abilities in him. We're talking about a guy lifting weights since the 8th grade. That speaks volumes, man. You guys got to understand the volumes that speaks, because if you're wired to lift weights since the 8th grade, then you know what's going to happen? That means that you're going to have these habits, these hard-working habits since then, which you see that those same hard-working habits have transitioned and have added into his training when it comes to boxing. So there's a degree of weight training and there's a degree of boxing training that Errol Spence adds to his repertoire. And that's why I had to shout out James H again for a third time, because that's another element of why Mikey Garcia is outmatched. See, Mikey Garcia, you could tell looking at his body, man, this guy has no functional strength. I'm going to say that again. He has no functional strength. All he has is what they call that country strength. You know what I'm saying? Country strength can only get you so far, man. Functional strength is where the endurance is where the stamina is. That's where cats are able to be explosive. You know what I'm saying? And that's where cats have longevity in their strength and in their abilities. When you got functional strength, man, you can't really do much. I mean, when you have country strength, you can't really do much. But Errol Spence got that functional strength, man. He got that workout strength. He got that gym strength. So he's bringing elements to his repertoire. My bad that I'm bringing this thing up and down. About to hit this gym. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know me, man. I keep my health serious. But anyways, Errol Spence, that cat has all of these different advantages that's coming into the fight that night. You know what I'm saying? So I feel sorry for Mikey Garcia. And the fact that I was enlightened by Errol Spence's, work ethic from a high school perspective, that speaks volumes to me, because it tells me that Mikey Garcia is heavily overmatched in this fight. He ain't gonna have no chance, dog. Errol Spence gonna straight massacre this dude. I'm gonna say this again. Errol Spence is going to straight massacre Mikey Garcia, because Errol Spence has had habits and fundamentals that have been wired in him since the 8th grade. Mikey Garcia, yes, he comes from a boxing pedigree family. Yes, he comes from a family that's been boxing since we don't know when, because you have his brother Robert Garcia, and of course the dad that was training Robert Garcia and things of that nature. So you can't take that away from him. Yes, Mikey Garcia is a good timing fighter, but Mikey Garcia has a big deficiency in his game. He does not fight well on the inside. And again, shout out to James H, because he brought that up when he was giving his thorough explanation in the Lipinets fight. You saw how Lipinets was able to throw considerable amount of punches on Mikey Garcia, and how he was able to hurt Mikey Garcia to a degree when the fight was on the inside. Mikey Garcia is the type of fighter that he likes to be comfortable in his timing, in the sense that he likes to throw those timing punches when it makes sense to him. You know what I'm saying? But in order for you to throw punches that are timed, you got to be fighting in the distance. You know what I'm saying? You can't be fighting in the close quarters. You can't be fighting within the inches. Only some supreme and rare boxers that know how to box off of their feet, like the Floyd Mayweathers of the world, a la the Maidana fight, that can fight in close quarters and still land counter punches and timed punches. This is why Floyd Mayweather won that fight, even though everybody was saying it was controversial and they felt Maidana won. Maidana was throwing the more awkward and crazy ass punches in that fight, but Floyd was landing the more accurate punches, the more punches on the button type of punches. And as the rounds were going on, he was wearing down Maidana because he kept hitting Maidana low to the body. You know what I'm saying? Like, he kept suffocating that stomach. He was beating that stomach in to the point where Maidana's punch rate it waned down severely. Errol Spence can do these same things that Floyd Mayweather can do. Errol Spence, that's why he's gonna be in the high guard. Shout outs to Woodstar TV. He's gonna be in the high guard, and he's gonna walk down Mikey Garcia. That's how he's going to fight him, in that high guard. And Derrick James and Errol Spence don't give a fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? They know that Errol Spence has that style that everyone knows, the style that he's coming with. But the thing with Errol Spence is he's a different cart he's a different horse that's carrying a different cart. I'm gonna say that again. He's a different horse carrying a different cart. I told you, he's that comparison of those cats I told you when you slap box with in the street, and you have, you know what I'm saying, these street fights and these street wars, and these cats are just built like fucking concrete, like granite. You know what I'm saying? You can hit them with everything, but it just fucking wanes your confidence because you can't do nothing against those cats. That's Errol Spence. Errol Spence is that boxer that it doesn't matter what you do. You just can't beat this guy down, man. He's built for tough. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Mikey Garcia is going to realize come March 16. Mikey Garcia is going to come to the conclusion that he has no chance against Errol Spence, because Errol Spence is going to put that pressure on him, man. It's going to be that relentless pressure, that tactical aggression type of pressure, that technical punching placement pressure. Errol Spence already knows what time it is. All he got to do is sit there and just keep this fight a close quarter fight. Keep this fight in the trenches. Keep Mikey Garcia on the ropes. Because if Errol Spence continues to do that and he continues to apply that amount of pressure, Mikey Garcia is going down. That's why you got somebody as recently as Phil LoGreco come out and say what he said. That's why you got other people that are attesting to that. Look at Teddy Atlas, man. I like Mikey Garcia. You know what I'm saying? He's a great fighter, but he is out of his league, man. He is out of his world fighting the likes of Errol Spence. There's a reason for that. Because when Errol Spence comes at you, man, he is a body snatcher. This guy rips your body up and he dismantles you. Errol Spence is that type of boxer / puncher that he breaks you down, man. You know what I'm saying? And mentally, he has you like in a daze. Your mental stamina ain't there, and you are physically drained. You're suffocated. You guys watch, man. Round 1, I told you this fight's going to be competitive. Round 2, Mikey Garcia is going to try to take risks because he knows he has to do that if he wants to be able to gain the respect of Errol Spence. But in him doing that, because he's going to go against the grain of what he is, which is a timer, and he's going to take those risks, he's going to pay. And he's going to pay so miserably for that, because Errol Spence is going to be landing those jabs. You know what I'm saying? And every time Mikey Garcia tries to throw a jab, Errol Spence is going to come back with a right hook on that ass, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys, man. Errol got the game plan there. Him and Derrick James, we're going to run that same game plan on him. You know why? He's too freaking small. He's not going to be able to bully me. He's not going to be able to maul me. All I got to do is just walk him down and get him against the ropes. And once I get him against the ropes, I'm going to just rip that body like nobody's business. You guys watch. Just sit there and watch what Errol Spence does. He's going to systematically break Mikey Garcia down. Mikey Garcia is going to be pissing blood. He's going to be put out on a stretcher. This fight is going to end in the 5th round. I got it. 5th round TKO stoppage. That's what I got it. I got Errol Spence flatlining, Hulk smashing, and damn near, you know what I'm saying, trouncing and demolishing Mikey Garcia. There's just no two ways around it. This is He Knows His Sport. Check it out.